Have you ever thought about investing in a pyramid scheme? Oh, I'm sorry, reverse funnel system? Have you ever taken your paycheck and thought, setting this on fire would be a really good idea? Do you want to buy my $10,000 course on how to become a millionaire in just 48 hours? Have you ever considered investing in your friend's diet water invention? Do you have a phobia of free money? If you answered yes to any of those questions, this is not the video for you, because this video is literally just about getting your paycheck, but getting paid to get that paycheck. And you're probably thinking,
but Alex, nobody gets free money just for getting paid. That would be ridiculous.
You are correct. There are some catches, but I do think this is still worth doing even with those catches. So be sure to watch to the end of the video to get the full picture. So some of you guys may have heard about credit card churning. And that, by the way, is not what this video is about, but I think it's important to set the context. Many credit cards will offer sign-on bonuses where if you spend a few $1,000s within the first month, you'll get $100 back or maybe some travel points. Credit card churning is where you strategically sign up for as many credit cards as you can handle, get the bonuses, and then cancel them. It's basically like min-maxing in RuneScape, but instead of skills in a video game, you're making your purchases as efficient as possible by always putting them towards a specific credit card bonus. And the pros, the people that make credit card churning a legitimate side hustle, will open dozens and dozens of cards per year that net them thousands of dollars in cash benefits and travel points. And I will definitely make a video about credit card churning in the future, so if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss it. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. Now, credit card churning is not for everyone. It requires that you spend at least a decent amount of money in order to see any real gain, so it's not ideal for people who live very frugal lifestyles. It can also impact your credit score if you do it incorrectly, which will impact your ability to get a loan or rent an apartment in the future. And that is why I recommend people who are new to the churning world to start with bank account churning. It's a great way to get your feet wet because there's fewer consequences if you don't do things in the right order. And I think it's more accessible to the majority of people. I've personally earned over $1,000 this year from bank account churning alone, and it took me maybe 5 hours of work. So similar to credit card churning, banks will often offer sign-on bonuses if you open a checking account with them. Usually these sign-on bonuses will be something like, switch your direct deposit to us and deposit 2 paychecks and you'll get $300 cash. So the gist of bank account churning is you open an account with a bank that has a bonus, you meet the requirements, you get the bonus, and then you move on to the next bank and just rinse and repeat. Some bonuses can even be done once a year, hence the name churning, because you're doing it over and over again. Another common type of bank account bonus is specific to savings accounts. These bonuses will require that you transfer over a certain amount of money and keep it there for a certain amount of time. For example, the offer might be something like, transfer over $5,000 to our savings account, keep it there for 60 days, and you'll get $300. And if that bonus doesn't sound like a lot of money to you, think about it this way. Getting $300 on a $5,000 investment in just 60 days is the equivalent of an annual return rate of 36%. The average annual stock market performance is anywhere from 8 to 12%, and the average savings account only gives you about 2% if you're lucky. Usually, these savings accounts offer pretty competitive interest rates too, so you're not really losing any interest earned by keeping that money locked up in that account for a while. And again, it's not like you're contractually obligated to keep that money in the account for however long it takes to meet the bonus. If you really need to access that money, you can just take it out, you just won't receive the bonus. And once you've met the requirements and received the bonus, you can just move all that money back to your main account if you want to. And these offers are great if you have some extra cash lying around, like in your emergency fund. Usually, the rule of thumb is to never touch your emergency fund except for true emergencies. But if you're just moving it from one savings account to another savings account, it's still accessible to you. I mean, hey, you gave up Starbucks Frappuccinos to build that emergency fund. The least it can do is make some money for you while it's just sitting there, right? So you might be asking yourself, why would banks give away free money to people who are not going to use their services after they receive the bonus? To be perfectly honest, banks do this because they know the majority of people are lazy. For every one person who signs up with the intention to profit and bounce, another 10 people will sign up, switch over the direct deposit information, slowly start switching over their bills and utility payments to that account, and then it's 6 months later, they've lost track of time, they received the bonus months ago, but at this point it's just too much of a hassle to switch things back. Your checking account typically acts as the central hub to all of your finances. Your employer deposits money directly into that account, which you then in turn transfer out to savings accounts, pay off loans, pay off credit cards, or maybe your rent or mortgage. The checking account plays a crucial role in that process by acting as the middleman, and disrupting that flow by moving checking accounts to a different bank can really be a huge hassle. It's the same reason why gyms are profitable. For every one person that sticks to their New Year's resolution and goes to the gym 3 times a week, Another 5 people will give up after a month or 2, but they have to continue paying until their contract is ended. Banks would not offer these bonuses if they weren't making more money off of them than they were spending. And I think that's why this topic isn't talked about too much in the financial community. The more people know about bank account churning, the less likely banks are to offer bonuses like this in the future. But honestly, I think this fear is pretty overblown. The vast majority of people just don't have the time or interest to churn bank accounts, and I think it's really unlikely that we'll get to a point where banks no longer offer these bonuses because they're no longer profitable. In order to churn bank accounts successfully, you need to be organized. This is great for anyone with a type A personality like myself. You absolutely need to be on top of your finances. You need to know what the exact requirements are to receive a bonus, how long it takes to transfer money from one account to the other, how long it takes your employer to update their direct deposit information, what you need to do to avoid fees, just to name a few things. And I will be sure to cover all of that in this video and more, so be sure to keep watching. But just know that if you want to make some extra money from your paycheck by churning bank accounts, you need to be on top of it. Okay, that's all fine and good, but how do you start? Well, the first thing you'll want to do is identify which bank bonus you want to pursue. There's this great website called Doctor of Credit, which I'll link in the description below. And I'm not affiliated or sponsored by them in any way, I just think it's a really great site that has a lot of great information about bank account churning. Every month, the website publishes best bank account bonuses of the month, which you can look through to find deals. And right now in July, there's over 50 bank account bonuses listed on this page. And some of them will have special requirements like living in a certain state, but just the sheer number of bonuses on this website means that you'll be very likely to find something that works for you. And while you're searching through deals, it's super important to read through the terms and conditions. Sometimes there are certain restrictions, like you're not eligible to receive the bonus if someone else in your household has received that same bonus in the last 12 months, so always be sure to read through the different terms and conditions to make sure that you're eligible. Next, once you've identified the offer that you want to pursue, you'll want to open an account with that bank. Again, make sure you follow the terms and conditions to the letter. Sometimes you'll be required to enter a special promotional code when you create the account, so be sure you read through the instructions carefully. Opening a bank account is pretty easy and usually pretty painless. The bank will need to verify your information and sometimes your social security number too, but most of the time this will not affect your credit score. Again, be sure to read the terms and conditions because some banks will perform a hard inquiry on your credit, which will potentially lower your score. Luckily, the Doctor of Credit website will tell you if a certain bank will perform a hard inquiry, but it's always good to double check. Never trust anyone's advice blindly on the internet, including my own. After opening a new bank account, you'll probably be mailed a new debit card within the next week or 2, but it's not necessary to wait to receive that card in order to move on to the next step. I've acquired a fun little collection of debit cards since I started bank account churning, and it's always fun to see just the terrible design choices that certain financial institutions make for their cards. I mean, some of them are just truly awful. So after setting up your bank account, you'll need to complete the offer requirements. If it's a checking account bonus, it'll probably be something like receive $3,000 in direct deposits within the first 90 days. For these types of offers, you'll need to change your direct deposit information with your employer. That process will look very different from employer to employer, and sometimes it will take even 2 or 3 paychecks to take effect, so make sure you check with your company's HR department. I will say though that churning bank account bonuses, specifically checking account bonuses, is so much easier if you have an employer that makes it really easy to change your direct deposit information. Many big companies have online portals where you can just go in, change your banking info, and it takes effect the next paycheck. Some companies will even let you split your paycheck so that it goes to 2 different accounts, which is great if you just need to reach the minimum number for the churning bonus and you want to direct the rest of your money to your main account like normal to pay for utilities and bills and whatnot. And if it's a savings account bonus, it might be something like transfer over $5,000 and keep it in there for 90 days. And if you have the cash on hand, this is super easy to do. Just schedule a transfer and move it over. Many of the more technologically capable companies will have some sort of instant transfer system like Zelle, but otherwise you can just use the account and routing information to schedule a transfer. So once you meet the requirements, all you need to do is just wait for your bonus. Depending on the bank, this might be anywhere from instantly to a few weeks after meeting the requirements. And this is where the Doctor of Credit website comes in handy again. If you scroll down to the comment section on pretty much every bank offer, people will let you know how long it took for them to receive their bonus so you have an idea of what to expect. And at this point, if you're doing a checking account bonus, you can switch your direct deposit information back to your main account or move on to the next offer. But after receiving the bonus, what do you do with the account? Well, it depends. If the account has no fees or minimum balance requirements and you like the service that it offers, you could consider just keeping the account open. You never know when you might need to use it, and it's always great to have options. But if the bank charges a monthly fee or requires that you keep a certain amount in the account at all times, you probably want to consider closing the account. Be careful here though, and like said previously, be sure to read the terms and conditions. Sometimes banks will charge an early termination fee, which is usually around $25 or so, but that can eat away at the bonus that you just earned. Plus, it's generally seen as good practice within the churning community to keep bank accounts open for at least 6 months or so, because we don't want to make it too obvious that we're just using them for their bonuses and dipping immediately. Waiting 6 months or so will make it more likely that banks will offer these types of bonuses again in the future. And usually banks will require that you keep $500 or $1,000 in that account to avoid the monthly fees, so I typically just stick a portion of my emergency fund in that account and then close it after 6 months. And this is again where organization skills are so important. If you're juggling multiple accounts, it can be really easy to forget that you have money stashed somewhere. It can also be easy to forget when you're allowed to close an account without being hit by the early termination fee. The best advice I have if you want to get into bank account churning is to keep a detailed Excel tracker. Write down every bonus you're pursuing and what the requirements are, the date that you opened the account, the date that you met the requirements, the date that you received the bonus, what sort of early termination fee applies, what you need to do to avoid monthly fees, how much money you currently have in the account, and when you can close the account without paying that early termination fee. This makes it so much easier to stay on top of everything and make sure that nothing slips through the cracks. There are a few more things that you need to be aware of before you get into bank account churning. And it's really important that you pay attention here because you do not want to jump into churning without knowing these things. First, like I mentioned before, most financial institutions will not perform a hard inquiry on your credit when you open an account, but there are a select few who do. And honestly, I would recommend staying away from these bonuses. Unless the cash offer is really, really good, it's usually not worth the hit to your credit score. You'll typically get way more value for that credit hit by opening up a credit card instead, which I will definitely cover in a future video on credit card churning. There is also a limit to the number of bank accounts that you can open in a given year, although this number is not static and the sensitivity varies from bank to bank. While most banks will not pull your credit report, they will pull something called a check systems report. This report just tracks any sort of fraudulent or negative activity from your past bank accounts, like depositing fake checks or overdrafting too often. Banks obviously don't want to open accounts for people who have had negative histories with other banks. The check systems report, however, also tracks the number of accounts you've opened recently. Opening an account by itself is not considered a negative activity, it's just seen as neutral, but opening too many in a short period of time can be seen as suspicious. On the Doctor of Credit website, it says it's generally okay to open about 10 accounts per year, although keep in mind that this is a fairly conservative estimate and some enthusiastic churners will reach way higher numbers than this. Because of this though, I would definitely recommend going after the best bonuses first, just in case you open too many accounts down the line. Also keep in mind that these bonuses are considered taxable. They're treated in the same way as interest earned in savings accounts. The banks that you receive a bonus from will probably send you a 1099 INT form at the end of the year, which you'll need to report on your taxes. As always, I am not a tax professional, so be sure to do your own research here. And lastly, I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it again because it's just so important. You need to be organized. Bank account churning is not the sort of thing to get into if you're the type of person who always forgets where you put your keys. Keeping a very thorough Excel tracker is pretty much necessary if you're going to be juggling multiple accounts at a given time. And you'll probably be pretty stressed out if you get into bank account churning with highly variable income, or if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have enough of a cash buffer in your main account to float you by in case something gets messed up during the process. And if this is something that you're interested in doing, I would recommend starting with one offer at a time and then just expand once you feel more comfortable. So at this point you might be thinking, that sounds like so much work. Is bank account churning really worth it? Honestly, as long as you stay organized, I think this is a great way to squeeze a little bit more money out of your paycheck. Unless the requirements are really, really easy, I typically stay away from any bonus that's less than $100 just because it's not worth my time. There is somewhat of a steep learning curve to get into the churning world, but I hope this video gave you a good introduction. And if you felt like you learned something, don't forget to give the video a like for the YouTube algorithm. I make videos on personal finance topics just like this one every week, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications so that you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.